All right, and here we have 3 people on Zoom. All right, and then myself. All right.
Everybody knows that Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States, but did you know that he was also a lawyer? Throughout this speech, I'll be covering Abraham Lincoln's life, accomplishments, and why he is one of my heroes. Lincoln was born February 12th of 1809 in Hodgeville, Kentucky. He had an older sister named Sarah and a younger brother who unfortunately did not make it past birth. His name was Thomas. In 1816, Lincoln's family moved to Indiana, where his father built a log cabin in 1818. Abraham's mother passed away when he was only 9. His father remarried in 1819, just 1 year later. His mother was very nice to him, and they got along very well. Unfortunately, both of his parents were unable to read, but highly encouraged him to pursue his education. Since he had to work with his family, he could not make it to school most days, but he loved reading and he did it avidly. In 1836, Lincoln became a lawyer. He took on all kinds of cases, from small disputes to murder. For example, during a murder trial, his witness says that he could see Lincoln's client commit the crime in the bright moonlight. Lincoln wins this case by proving that the moon had set on that date and time, and therefore was too dark to witness to see anything. This exemplifies Lincoln's natural talent. He used his love of reading and determination to objectively determine the truth in multiple people and multiple occasions. In 1842, Lincoln married his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. They had 4 sons, in which only one had made it to adulthood. Lincoln was elected to the House of Representatives and the Senate, where he was introduced the legislation to end slavery in the District of Columbia. And finally, in 1860, he was elected as the 16th President of the United States, right before the Civil War broke out. He was an amazing leader who fought through the Civil War, and in 1864, he was reelected and signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Tragically, in 1865, at a theater, pro-slavery John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln. Booth fled the scene while Lincoln was rushed across the street to the Peterson House. Arguably one of the biggest achievements in Lincoln's career was signing the Emancipation Proclamation. What many people misunderstand about the Emancipation Proclamation was that it did not immediately free a single slave. Instead, it declared free the slaves who lived in the states that had rebelled against the Union. Since the U.S. government did not yet control those lands, no slaves went free until the proclamation could be enforced in the South. However, it allowed the Union to recruit black soldiers who turned out to be crucial in the fight. Lincoln said that they were the heaviest blow yet dealt to the rebellion. The proclamation turned out to be the beginning of the end of slavery in the United States. In the end, what seemed to not have a significant effect on the problem at hand, eventually more hard work and more determination from Lincoln and the Union freed the slaves. Lincoln is one of my heroes because he even when half of the country was against him, he stood up for and fought for what he believed in. He was fair to everyone and didn't allow other people's opinions to affect what he knew he was right. And he once said, "Great men are ordinary men with extraordinary determination." This quote is moving and powerful because it was a testimony to who he was. He grew up in very humble beginnings, and he had nothing anyone else didn't have. But he changed the country for the better. And in the end, it's not the years of your life that count, it's life in your years. Although ironic, looking back at the context of his life, Lincoln lived 56 years, which is sustainably shorter than most. But he decided to change the course of America with the time he did have. Exemplifying this quote to perfection, he did it in 56 years most people couldn't do in 10 times that. In conclusion, Abraham Lincoln started life off worse than most, but he found a way to persevere and achieve anything he worked towards. His story is inspiring to anyone who will listen. Has changed the lives of millions of people, acting on what he knew was best for everyone. Lincoln's actions throughout his life will undoubtedly change the lives of people all around the world for the rest of time. He exemplified everything he encouraged us to be like and will forever hold his place in history. Thank you.